What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my review of Kevin Hart's latest stand-up special, the What Now Tour. Kevin Hart has extended his What Now Tour to smaller markets like Columbia, Missouri, and I was able to attend the show, so this is my review of the What Now Tour. So real quick, Kevin Hart, he has blown up to superstardom. He has become one of the biggest comedians in the world. That's saying quite a lot for him coming from Philly. From when he originally started off in this business, he was not one of the most well-known people in the industry. He had some very humble beginnings with movies like Paper Soldiers and Soul Plane, which didn't do too well with audiences or the box office. But you know what? Kevin Hart stayed persistent, and over the past 6 to 7 years, he has really become one of the most recognizable names in all of comedy. It really started off with his first stand-up specials that he was releasing. Specials like I'm a Grown Little Man, Seriously Funny, Laugh at My Pain, those really shot him into superstardom. Not to mention that these stand-up specials were put on Netflix, so they provided him access to so many people, a much larger crowd. So many people started to become aware of who Kevin Hart was. So in about the past 5 years, he starred in a plethora of movies, like he's everywhere. His stand-up specials and his tours have become some of the biggest grossing comedy tours in all of history. So now that Kevin Hart has reached this level of fame, what now for him? What is next for him? What left does he have to prove? And that is what this particular tour is all about. This is supposed to be the highest grossing comedy tour of all time. He's hitting many cities. He's taking it internationally. This is going to be big. So in usual Kevin Hart fashion, he has some of his homeboys opening up for him, the Plastic Cup Boys. This consisted of Joey Wells, Spank Horton, and Naeem Lynn, and they all delivered incredibly strong sets. Me personally, I've never seen any of the Plastic Cup Boys perform stand-up before. I've heard of them, but it was a really pleasant surprise to see them for the first time at this tour. And like I said, man, all of them had incredibly strong sets. Each one of them had about a 15-minute set, so they had a little bit of time to work with, but all of them pretty much kept my attention and were hilariously funny. Out of the three, I gotta say Naeem Lynn delivered the funniest set. He had me laughing the entire time. Spank Horton's set was probably the weakest of the three, but that's no shade to him. He still did an incredible job. Now with the Plastic Cup Boys delivering their sets and out of the way, the main event of the night obviously was Kevin Hart. Now let's talk about this for a second. This tour is very strict on its rules. So if you haven't been on the What Now Tour, just trust when I say this, no cell phones at all. Like, it's not happening. Like, they will eject you from the arena and you will not get your money back, because Kevin Hart doesn't want any of his material to be bootlegged and leaked on the internet, because this is all new material. Not to mention that he has a movie coming out about this tour next year, so if anything got leaked, nobody will go see the movie. So they are very strict about those rules. If you plan to go to the What Now Tour, just either leave your phone in the car or just have some self-control, because tweeting all that is not happening. So when Kevin Hart came out, he got a standing ovation, as he should, as he deserves, and he got right into the set. Now I'll say, you know, for me, it took Kevin Hart a little bit to warm up. It took him about 15 to 20 minutes to warm up, but he had an hour and 20-minute set to deliver some hilarious jokes. Kevin Hart's signature has really been talking about the truthful things that happens in his life. He really uses the truth and the reality of his lifestyle to convey these comedic jokes across to these large audiences. A lot of his set included stuff about his family, his daughters and his son, and how they have a privileged upbringing and they grow up different than how he grew up because of his lifestyle. It was really funny stuff to see. Kevin Hart also talked about his fear of like animals in his house and where he lives, like out in the wilderness. He talked about stuff like that. It was incredibly funny, like the stories he would tell and the payoff at the end. It was very precise, and it was very good timing on his part. He also talked about a lot about like the marriage life and being engaged now again and getting ready to get married, and the things that he has to do, sometimes the lies he has to tell to his wife in order to do certain things. It was incredibly funny stuff. And you know, that's really the strong point of Kevin Hart. I think he does a really good job of telling those personal stories and amplifying them and becoming, you know, extra in his whole set. And he does a really good job of delivery and his impersonations and just the over-the-top way he acts. That's what he's good at. I gotta mention though, dude has been working out something serious. He took off his jacket at one point and like his arms were like super big. I gotta give it up to Kevin. Like, he's been working out tremendously, because like he's big now. Like, it's kind of freakish. He's like 5'4", so he's like really big for his size. But that's besides the point. Kevin Hart, I was thoroughly entertained by his set. Thoroughly entertained. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did, but I really enjoyed myself at the What Now Tour. Kevin Hart did an incredible job with this new material that he wrote, using his life as a backstory and delivering the funny for pretty much the entire time. Gotta give the man his props. Like, when it comes to his stand-up specials, he is pretty funny. I'm not the biggest fan of his movies because I feel like he's a little bit watered down, but when he has this unleashed filter for his stand-ups. He really lets it all hang out, and I really enjoy that about Kevin Hart. So overall, I gotta give the entire What Now tour an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. Kevin Hart is still really funny. He's still at the top of the world when it comes to the comedy game. I mean, he's really the biggest name out there at this point. Nobody can really rival his star power, and this is eventually going to become the highest grossing comedy tour of all time. So make sure that you are a part of that and go see it. Alright folks, that's all I got for my review of Kevin Hart's What Now tour. As always, follow me on social media at JRWTheCreator on Twitter and Instagram, and then go check out my website, jordanrwilliams.com. And as always folks, I'll see y'all next time.